ya. Oke, I open
All right.
first.
Thank you, thank you.
Ya. Baik, selamat pagi teman-teman semuanya. Baik, kabarnya? Ya. Baik, alhamdulillah kawan-kawan semuanya. Pada pagi hari ini kita akan melaksanakan agenda ya International Youth Lecture bersama narasumber kita pagi hari ini, yaitu seperti yang teman-teman bisa lihat di depan ya, kita kehadiran salah satu Associate Professor Dr. Pauline Swee. Good morning, Ms. Goh. Thank you very much for your stand.
Good morning, meet again. I'm glad to be
Yeah.
here now for the second day. Thank you.
Ini adalah hari kedua kita untuk belajar bersama Ms. Goh ya, dari Taylor University Malaysia, dan kita akan belajar terkait dengan how to be a sustainable teacher and learner. Jadi di hari pertama kemarin kita sudah banyak sekali belajar, khususnya terkait dengan bagaimana global education, civic global dan sebagainya, sehingga dari situ kita sebagai seorang pembelajar, sebagai seorang guru, pastinya harus terus mengikuti dinamika perkembangan dan juga tuntutan zaman. Sehingga pada kesempatan pagi hari ini, mari kita simak bersama-sama paparan yang akan disampaikan oleh Ms. Goh terkait dengan how to be a sustainable teacher and learner, sehingga nanti harapannya adalah teman-teman yang ada di sini adalah calon-calon cikgu ya, calon-calon guru di masa yang akan datang. Maka nanti Anda bisa menggali banyak sekali informasi dari beliau terkait dengan pengalamannya, substansi materi bagaimana pendidikan di Malaysia or di global education. Jadi nanti silahkan gunakan kesempatan ini untuk menggali pengalaman dan ilmu yang akan dipaparkan langsung oleh Ms. Goh. Sehingga Ms. Goh, I think we can start to Ms. Goh presentation, your presentation about how to be a sustainable and teacher learning. Untuk
Thank you.
Kami persilahkan.
Thank you very much, Ms. Vidya, for your very kind introduction. Okay, so we meet again, yes, everyone. I'm so happy that I'm able to see you again for the second day, right? So what we are going to do today is, yesterday, my last slide will show you later what your country has done towards global citizenship and towards ESD, Education for Sustainable Development. Actually, your country is doing a lot more. I'm sure you're aware as future teachers that there's a lot of curriculum already in place in Indonesia to look into globalization and ESD. So we're just going to know a little bit how ESD started first. Okay, it's quite important to know that, right? Next, okay. Okay, so let's do a quick history of how it started. Yeah, it actually in the late 1980s and the early 1990s. Yeah, during one of the Earth Summit conference in Rio de Janeiro in 1992, gave birth to this education for sustainable development. Why? They were talking. It hasn't really started yet, but they were talking about it. You know, they want to improve basic education. They want to adapt what is right now towards more sustainable development. They don't want to teach for today and then the students are not prepared for the future, right? They want to improve the understanding and awareness of where you live is no more just you and your surrounding, but your community and the wider environment around you, right? And they want to include training and better preparation of students. So in late 80s, 1992, they cemented this ESD. Okay, then came the another World Summit in 2002. So in 2002, they really started to look into the policy of ESD during the United Nations Decade on Education for Sustainable Development was the tipping point where they now wrote their 17 SDG, they call it 17 focus. They want to look at international resolution, okay, to promote now is to seriously to promote sustainable development in a very worldwide education worldwide, right? They want to mobilize the educational resources to help create a more sustainable future. Now, yesterday, for most of you members, we talked about global education. Okay, so this is one of them. When you talk about wanting to have a sustainable future, you cannot run away with the word global education, right? Yesterday we talked about you being a global citizen, and Indonesia has come up with a policy about global citizenship, which I'll show you later. So we talk a little bit about kritikan, the critics that say they don't agree to global education, they don't agree to this sustainable development type of project. So have you all given it some thought? Have you all given it some thought about what we mentioned yesterday, that global education is actually a way to monopolize the poorer countries? Do you agree with that or not? Do you agree that globalization or global education is to suppress local cultures, to make local culture less important to the Western culture? Do you agree with that or not? Do you think you see it happening or not? Okay, so think about that. I really would, maybe at the end, you tell me your opinion. As a student now in your environment, do you see that happening? Do you think, not say see, do you think, right, that holding on to teaching methods that you take from the West, okay? I think you all learn about Bloom taxonomy, okay, about Vygotsky, all the different teaching methods, all the educational psychology. Do you think that learning these Western teaching methods will dilute or dissolve or even destroy our own local cultures? I want us to think about that. Okay, or do you think that you will take this Western understanding of how to teach, and do you learn how to use your local culture to make it relevant in your situation? Okay, maybe you can ask your lecturer that next time when you see your lecturers.
Yeah.
When they are teaching you pedagogy, then ask them that. Ask them what is their own opinion about. They are teaching you experiential teaching, problem-based learning, inquiry-based learning. You ask them, where is the local aspect inside all these teaching methods? Maybe you should ask them, right? Because that is the criticism that is coming out from educationalists after so many years of globalization and global education. Okay, so finally, in the next ESD is the 2030 ESD 2030, which is of course to improve upon the 2005 to 2014 one. Now it's a roadmap. The ESD 2030 is now a roadmap which every teacher needs to know. Okay, because I think your government is also looking into this roadmap. Lots of your policy are synergizing with this roadmap. Okay, one, advancing policy. So advancing policy, the tanggungjawab or the responsibility will definitely be school leaders. One day, all of you may become a school leader. right? So you need to know that too. Another roadmap, the second roadmap is they want to transform the learning environment. That's a roadmap, okay? The third one is they want to build capacities of educators. That means teachers. They are now concentrating on teachers. And fourth, they want to empower and mobilize young people. And then the fifth one is they want to make it faster, local events, local action, like each country. Don't talk about it. Keep sitting down and talk about it. What are you doing about it? So they are asking that. That is the roadmap for ESD 2030. So in all this roadmap, education is the most important because education fits into everything for economy, for business, for entrepreneurship. It all comes back to education. So education must foster the importance, of the ecosystem sustainability. How do you balance it? Like we say, how do you balance the human and the ecosystem? Let me tell you a story. No, I think it's a story. It's not a story. It's actually a testimony, okay? We, as teachers, you learn civic education or moral education. We tell our students, reduce the use of plastic. Oh yeah, very good. Green, reduce the use of plastic. Don't use so much plastic. Avoid using plastic spoon, the white plastic spoons. Right, fine. So you keep telling yourself, oh, I must avoid using. But a group of students are asking, they say, okay, you are telling us don't use plastic spoon, but we do not understand why we cannot use plastic spoons. You see, meaning that education cannot be just telling the young people, you cannot do this. They need to understand more. Why cannot use plastic spoon? You cannot say because it doesn't disintegrate, it stays in the earth for a long time. Why does it stay in the earth for a long time? Do you tell your student or not? Do you go back to say that, well, plastic spoon is made of this chemical A, chemical B, chemical C. That's why this chemical is very bad for the environment. And this chemical C hardens the plastic so it does not dissolve. You need to tell them that. You see, now the young people are different, right? The millennials, like yourself, you don't just sit down and say, oh, yes, teachers say that, I believe. No more. You need to tell them why you cannot use plastics, all right? What is the issue there? Okay, this is a real one. It happens in one of the Western country. This school is very into sustainability. So what they did was they encouraged the students to avoid using pollution like buses that's polluting and all that. They say, come in a bicycle. So this group of students started to say, okay, we're going to walk to school. We're going to come with a bicycle. They're going to try. Even I come by bus, the bus will stop further away. I'm going to walk to school to save the pollution. Fine, very good. Then suddenly they see all their teachers coming in four-wheel drive in the truck and polluting the environment. So how can you tell the students that you need to take care of the environment? Well, the adults themselves are not following it. Okay, so these are things that you are going to have conflict when it comes to teaching about sustainability. What you teach and what they see is not working together. Okay, so that's the issue that we need to think about as future teachers. Okay, but anyway, the ESD for 2030 is the roadmap to change people's mindset. So I think it is not, when we talk about sustainability, and when you want to teach your students, you are in civic education, to teach about sustainability, right? It's not about behavior. To me, I personally feel it is not about behavior anymore. It is about mindset. It's about them knowing that, yes, this is wrong and I change mindset. Behavior means if they do something wrong, you punish them and they won't do it again. But it's not going to work. It's not going to sustain, right? In fact, they will say, okay, you will punish me. I won't do for now, but when I go out, I will just do it. So it's a change of mindset that's important. Yeah. And you as a future teacher, have a very difficult task ahead. The mindset changing. It's not behavior, it's mindset. Okay, right. So that is how ESD started. How ESD came about, because well, they said that we need to sustain this small world, compressed world we live in for the future. So why I have these funny pictures at the side of the definition is because they go, you know, and go like that. You know, it's because you look at the definition. I think I cannot do it at all. Yeah, it is not easy. It's easy to put into words. You want to allow every human being to acquire the knowledge, skill, attitude, and values to shape a sustainable future. Honestly, to tell you the truth, you know, I don't know what it means. Okay, so the definitions is like, I really don't know how I'm going to carry it out, right? But as teachers, we try and see. We learn from other schools that have tried to do it, like what we're doing now. Your university is very progressive, I think. You know, you invite guest lecturers, you invite probably the next time, because you are in civic education, you invite those people who are actually, who have already implemented ESD in their school, and they can tell you what they have done. Okay, Taylor's University has come up with a sustainable future. Let me tell you what they are doing now. In Taylor's University, lecturers do not have rooms anymore. Lecturers do not have their own cubicle space anymore. We don't have, okay? We don't have, we go to work, kita tak ada bilik untuk duduk. Kita tak ada cubicle untuk duduk dah. You know, they've done it away. Kerana why? Kerana kalau tiap-tiap pensyarah yang baru akan datang, tempat itu dah tak ada bilik untuk pensyarah-pensyarah baru yang akan datang. Mereka katalah. So, untuk sustainability macam mana kita nak buat? So, hapuskan bilik, hapuskan cubicle. So, what we are doing is, you pergi ke Taylor's hari ini, you pergi cari meja yang kosong, your work desk, and that is for the day you use the work desk. Tetapi Taylor's bagi kita satu cabinet, ya, locker untuk simpan, a big locker lah untuk simpan barang kita. But we do not have a office, we do not have a cubicle anymore. So this is part of sustainability. So as new lecturers come in, you do not have to worry about building offices for them, giving them a space. You come, you see any space, you just take. And that for that day, that is your space. At the end of the day, you must clear up your space, go home. So that is sustainability. That's one way of sustainability. Deakin University, even one step ahead, they have made their pond into a very sustainable pond. I don't know what they did, but they sieve water from there, if I'm not mistaken. So I was talking to one of the lecturers. They did a fantastic sustainable project for their lakes and pond inside the university. Okay, so we are doing, we learn from other people what other people are doing to try to satisfy all this definition. We cannot do it as a person. Okay, so now come to that very crucial question, you know, what is sustainability? What is sustainability? So the UNESCO says that we need to sustain for the environment, we need to sustain our environment for the future, we need to ensure the social standard, there's a certain standard of living, we need to ensure the economy is equal, you know, every country gets equal resources, gets equal profit, equal saving, etc., etc. All right. But I think as a teacher, this one, because I myself ask, what is sustainability? You know, how do I do it? Right? How do I do it? So this is my own opinion. You may have your own, isn't it? So the next slide is just a very simple slide to when you are confused, you know, when you are, kita bila dah keliru dengan perkataan sustainability, mungkin kita gunakan beberapa soalan ini ya untuk mencapai hasrat kita. You keep the question alive. What do you want to sustain? You do not have to think about the world yet. Even in your own classroom, what do you want to sustain? Ask yourself that. Just ask yourself. So, next question is, why do I want to sustain? What do I want to sustain? For what? For what? For what? For a good life. Okay, you want to sustain for a good life and you want to create a better world. Okay, so and then you need to ask yourself, does it meet the needs of the present people now? Presently where you are, without compromising the ability to meet the future generations' needs. See, that is sustainability. What do you want to sustain? First, you say definitely you want, because you want to have a good life, you want to create a better world. But you must also think, you want to sustain now, the present, because, and whatever you sustain must not compromise. Tak boleh menjejaskan, you know, the ability of your future generation for their own needs. So that means you have to protect, isn't it? You're going to protect what you have now so that the future generation, that you don't compromise what the needs of the future generation. So I like that. Although I did the one on the left was a good life, but I like that one from this lady, Angela Selted, I can't remember, Gelstead, from a TED Talk. I really thought that encompasses everything we know about sustainability. Okay, so going back to the other slide. So what can we do as a teacher? Now, when we talk about sustainability, you cannot teach sustainability in the theoretical form. It needs to be place-based. It needs to be project-based. So I do not know whether Miss Vidya, as your lecturer, maybe Miss Vidya should give us some example of how do you, teach sustainability, which is place-based and project-based. Do you have that? Do you have that within your classroom, within your lectures or not? Do you get them to do place-based and project-based approaches to student learning? Do you have, for instance, a sustainability club in your department? You are a civic education, right? You are looking about things that's beyond just subjects, civic education, moral education. Do you have a sustainability club? The club where people come together to think about sustaining just your environment only, just your own group only. Do you have that or not? Okay, a good example is, I can't remember that teaching method already. What is it called? But I will tell you what it is, okay? There's a name, I cannot remember the name. It is, probably you might want to consider that. It is a teaching method, maybe it's more for preschool and primary school children. They are very creative. It is a teaching method where you ask the children or the students to study nature. You ask them to study nature and then ask them to use what they understand, how nature solve the problem, and give them a real life problem to solve, and ask them to draw or paint using nature. So for instance, traffic jam, okay, you want them to solve traffic jam, certain traffic, yeah? Traffic jam. So you ask them to go and look at nature. Ask them to look at ants. They will see that ants, although they are walking all over the place, there is no traffic jam. So ask them to look and see why this animal, when they are all moving all over, there's no traffic jam. Or let them look at bees, they're flying all over, but nobody clash among themselves. Why? So ask them to study nature, plants, animals, insects, and then ask them to solve traffic jam using nature, what they understand from nature. You'll be surprised at how the children think about using what they see in nature to solve problem. I would be interested to see. Okay, so that's one way, which is project-based. So they will understand how to bring nature into building a house or solving traffic jam or oil spill. Maybe they look at how the fish, there's a fish called the sucker fish. They might look at how the starfish absorb oil and then excrete oil, or how the bird, what kind of process the bird do when they have this type of pollution. So you ask them to look at nature and solve oil spill, because Indonesia is also a very, you also produce oil. So oil spill is also very common like Malaysia. So how do you solve that using nature? That's a project-based approach, right? Or even in your, university is the best place to of course, to have place-based kind of project. You have plenty of space. Maybe you have a area, a garden, where it's called a sustainability garden, where you only use organic fertilizers. You see how you get water to water your plants, etc. So I think when we talk about how to solve specific problem, from how to teach our students to solve projects that is for sustainability, we need to start very young, and it must be place-based and and project-based. And how do you as a teacher integrate the different discipline and put in sustainability inside? Or when you're teaching geography, how do you teach sustainability inside? I think it's place-based and project-based. Or when you're teaching language, how do you inculcate sustainability? I think it's place-based and it's project-based. Okay, so that's what I feel. When you must ask yourself, what do we want to sustain? And then think for yourself. Okay, don't have to don't try to solve the world problem. Just your classroom first. Are you using things that is sustainable or not? Are you putting your pencils in old wooden things that will not disintegrate and destroy the environment? Or are you putting your pencils in plastics? Do you bring your food in glass, which can be washed and used again? Or are you using plastic to eat? These are small things, right, that you can start to talk about sustainability without talking about, oh, we have to save the trees, oh, we have to save the ocean. Correct. Okay, so you think about how to teach sustainability through real life occasion, real life ways. Okay, then, but to be honest, right? To be honest, as teachers, it's not easy. Okay, there are challenges that you will face when you come to trying to achieve ESD. Although you have a lot of curriculum and policy in place, but how many of you really embrace those policies? Okay, why is it so difficult? See, embarking on the path of sustainable development require a profound transformation of how we think and act. So one of the big problem I feel in challenges is many of us, many of the teachers, we lack the familiarization with the concept of sustainability and ESD. That's why I created that simple chart to make some sense of sustainability as a teacher. How do we want to start teaching about sustainability? We start by asking some questions and some outcomes, right? There is a very few teachers who understand the concept of ESG, and very few teachers are able to integrate the three things, the environment, the social, and the economic aspect into educational practices. Very difficult. They find it very hard. How do I integrate all these the three spheres into my own teaching and learning? Okay. And some research done by UNESCO itself says that when you want, as a teacher, there are three competencies teachers must have, which I think you will be assessed on when you are actually a teacher. One, are you able to build knowledge, understand, and do you have critical thinking? That's a competency that a teacher must have to be able to teach. Do you have that? Are you able to teach, to build knowledge, to let your student understand, and let your student have critical thinking? Second, are you able to develop in your student a certain awareness and the social skills? It's effective, the effective part, that your students are able to respect each other, respect diversity, etc. Are you able to teach that or not? And the third one, the behavioral learning. Are you able to foster the ability for your students to act reasonably when they meet people they don't like, so that they can so that they can contribute to a more sustainable world? These are three competencies that a teacher must have according to UNESCO in 2021, right? So what they're saying is teachers cannot just teach cognitive only. In fact, they found that the majority of teachers very good in teaching cognitive ability, the knowledge part, very good. They can do that. But what UNESCO is saying, a teacher cannot only focus on the cognitive aspect, but then how do you facilitate awareness that humans are part of the ecosystem? How do you translate all this into moral action? You are civic education teachers. You are civic education. How do you do that? Right? You can teach cognitively, right? The intelligence part. But can you teach the social and the emotional part? Can you teach the behavioral learning or not? I think that's difficult. So what can you do? Of course, I think UNS is doing very well. You have professional and development training. You have partnership networks to learn from each other. You hold workshop to exchange experience among teachers. Yeah, that's how you learn how to do the second and third part. How do you facilitate awareness? How do you gel this into a moral action? I'll be interested to know. So it's very difficult for me also. As a pedagogy teacher, educator, I also have many pre-service teachers. And this is the hardest one. They all can go out and teach very well the cognitive aspect. I'll give you one simple example, where the students find it hard to gel the social and behavioral learning. This, I went to do internship, right? My students did internship. So, I pergi menyelia. So, this is not my subject, mine is more language. Tapi saya mengganti lah, ya. Seorang penyelia yang tak boleh pergi. Ini adalah subjek apa? Subjek the living skills, I think, macam home economics and living skill. So tak apalah. So I pergi, so I take, tak apa, saya akan menyelia. So cikgu ini, cikgu baru ni, cikgu internship ni, dia nak mengajar tentang cara untuk menukar pokok kepada pasu yang lebih besar. So what she did was, she just do step by step, cognitively, step by step. First thing first, you must do that. Second, you must do that. Third, you do this. Then ask them, okay, go and do. But to me is, where is the aspect where you facilitate the awareness, why you need to do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. She never tell them. She never tell them why you need to do step 1, step 2. So the students were cognitively very good. They know, oh, must learn this, do that. Yeah, good. They are able to do it, but they cannot understand why they need to do step 1, step 2, step 3. Why must you do this soil this way? Why must I put these dead leaves on top? Why must I cut my stem angle? She didn't tell them. Okay, so what the UNESCO found out that was the teachers, right, like yourself, you are teaching in a very theoretical way. You are teaching sustainability, responsibility in a very theoretical way. You are not linking it to real life. You're not linking it to real situation. Okay, and then there was also another UNESCO survey, satu lagi survey in 2021 of 58,000 primary and secondary teachers throughout the world. And this is the world, okay? 58,000 teachers throughout the world. Apa yang mereka cari is, many of these teachers, they are only focused on testing. Suka sangat. Dia nak testing saja, nak menilai saja cognitive ability. That's one. Teachers are all teaching to exams. Two, many of these 58,000 teachers lack support. They lack support in how to go about teaching sustainability. And three, many of these 58,000 teachers say they are overworked and underpaid. Okay, so this is a worldwide survey of 58,000 primary and secondary school teachers. They just did a survey and then they send it back to UNESCO. So they found this. Teachers are not aware how to teach to sustainability, always teaching to exams, lack of support, and very overworked. Okay, so if any of the UMS leaders are listening, maybe you need to do something for your own teachers right now. Okay, so that's one, lack of familiarization. Lack of familiarization. Two, restrictive curriculum. This one maybe when you are in the position to be able to do something, right? Most of the curriculum now are very restrictive. They don't have much, the curriculum do not show integration, do not have, the students must be taught this to pass exams, So these are more for the leaders, right? So you need to have a more deeper understanding of the curriculum. You need to see how the curriculum can be differentiated, right? It cannot be one size fit all. It must be tailor-made to your teaching, to your situation, to the diversity of your students. You need to modify the learners' different levels, different interests, right? And teachers must proactively modify your methods. Even your resources are limited. How do you get those resources? What kind of learning activities do you need to change, right? So that your own students will be sustainable learners in the future. To me, it comes back to place-based and project-based. So again, I repeat, sustainability is not about behaviors. I repeat, sustainability is not about behaviors. So remember that when you are a teacher next time, they do wrong, they are punished. That's behavior. You are trying to change a behavior. It's a state of mind. you need to make them understand, you know, that living harmoniously with your world or your planet is the goal you want. But talking about everything green, green, green is not the only way to get there, right? We must have less plastic use. Throw away plastic. Don't use plastic spoons. Yes, these are green activities, green activities. But you want to teach them the values, you know, why? The values of understanding why you cannot do it. Not just don't do it. It's not a behavior, it's a set of mind. Okay? So it's like teaching them, let them think for themselves. If they do this, what is the outcome? If they do that, what is the outcome? Let them think and change their own mindset. If you tell your students, jangan buang sampah dalam longkang, you know, don't throw rubbish into the drains. You tell them every day, civic education. Then they go back home, they see their grandfather, whom they respect, throw rubbish into the drain. So who are they to believe? You, the teacher, tell them don't throw rubbish into the drain. They go home, they see their grandfather throw rubbish into the drain. So then when they come to school, if you see them throw rubbish in the drain, you punish them. But when they go home, the grandfather throw rubbish into the drain, it's fine. So there's a conflict of behaviors or mindset. It's a conflict of mindset. So how do you change this mindset? Not to change the behavior, you know, not to say you throw rubbish, I will punish you, but the mindset. So what can you do? You need to ask them, if you throw rubbish into the drain, what will happen? Let them tell you what will happen. Let them think, or they'll say when it rains heavy, the drain will be stuck. They know. So if it continue to rain heavy and the drain is stuck, what will happen? We will have banjir, we have flood. So you are not telling them that throwing rubbish in the drain is wrong, but you are letting them think why throwing rubbish into the drain is wrong. So that is civic education. So that's how we need to teach our students to change their mindset, right? Then the third one, I said that. So that's what I meant by the curriculum differentiation. We need to rethink how we teach, how we set up our curriculum. It's not anymore about set of behaviors. It's about state of mind. Okay. The fourth one is learners are at the heart of schooling. What do I mean by that? You must prepare them for the now. You as a teacher. And the future is also an important task for you. You need to ensure that your students are able to solve problems, make decisions, think critically, communicate ideas effectively, work well, that's effective, the social part, you know, work well with others, right? So, unfortunate to say, a lot of people, Gen Z like yourself and the millennials like yourself, you grow up with a lot of social media to say, oh, everything is destroyed. Doom, gloom. Everything is a crisis. Oh, tomorrow you see oil spill. Oh, you see fire burning your beautiful forest. You know, every day you see social media, you see news about all this happening. So you're getting a doom and gloom, getting very depressed, you know. But yet at the same time, when you go to school, the teachers are not showing you how to solve it. See the conflict? Okay, so you want to be a teacher who teaches sustainability, you must remember that. There is a conflict. Their schools are not teaching them how to solve this issue, yet they hear it every day. The depressing news, fire be burning, the forest fire, oil spill, right? overpopulation or whatever, or a country do not have enough food, but but they're not taught how to solve it. Okay, so this generation feels hopelessness, they have anxiety. So you as a teacher needs to go back to school and tell them how to solve it or how to overcome that. Okay, and nobody can be blamed if they feel anxious. Okay, because the new generation like yourself cannot avoid the stress about how to be proactive so that things can become different. Okay, so when like I've said just now, when you teach about if you talk about industrial pollution, then maybe you can tell the students to try to look to buy things that companies they know they are non-polluting. Okay, when you talk about plastic, tell them a little bit how plastic is made, why plastic is bad, you know, or maybe you got your university, your sustainability club in your school, campaign for a bicycle path in your university to reduce pollution. Now, many things that you as a young people can do in your school. Next time when you're in a school, you can think about it. Okay, so you build solutions. What I'm trying to say is the fifth point, you build solution into your lessons. Wherever you're teaching, you build solution into your lessons. Easier said than done, right? But you can be done. So the other problems are more leadership issue. Sometimes the school itself or the whole state itself do not have a policy that focuses on sustainability issues. So that one, the leadership must think about that, you know, and sometimes your schools lack resources. You know, you lack the human, you lack the financial, you lack the material resources to develop, or you want to do transdisciplinary, you want to do a multidisciplinary teaching, but you don't have the material, you don't have the finance. Okay, so in this, I can only say that as teachers, you need to be very creative. You need to be very creative. Okay, and the other difficulty is to measure. Let's say, for instance, maybe UNS has adopted efforts for ESD, which I'm sure you all do. Maybe you have, because your policy, your country's policy states very clearly that every institution must implement ESD. So I am sure your university has made effort towards ESD, which I would love to hear what you're doing. But what is difficult is, what is a lot of institutions are finding hard is, how do I know, you know, that I am already generating positive results? We do not have a benchmark, you know. So how do I judge? How do I assess that I am successful in my ESD effort? And that is a big issue. Maybe that could be a research, collaborative research with other institutions to come up with a benchmarking, sort of a benchmark kind of form, you know, where we say, okay, if you have this, then you have reached ESD. No one has done that. Okay, how do we identify good practices? So what you can, you have done it, but what is good practices? You don't know. So the only way is maybe do a research to come up with your own benchmarking, or you look at other institutions that have done it and what are their good practices that you can evaluate we compare with your own effort. Okay, so we don't have that. So that is a collaborative research actually. And then I also think that many schools, I feel that in Malaysia is happening since COVID, you know, when COVID happened, many schools closed. So when they started again, there's a lack of students' extracurricular activities. I'm not sure why now schools have very little extracurricular activities. When I was a student, long time ago, lama dah, orang tua-tua kan, our schools was very exciting, you know. We had field trips going out of the school. We had bus trips. We go digging into the sort of like jungle or whatever. We collected specimens from the botanical gardens or whatever. So now is that the schools, oh, no more. We cannot let the students go out because it's unsafe. So I find that's one, to me, that's one of the issue of not being able to meet ESD. Not enough actual project outside of the school classroom, you know, and also the planning. The teachers seem to a bit tired to do planning for such things again. I do not know why. So I think you as teachers, you need to be very proactive and active, have place-based and project-based type of activities. Okay, so these are the 5 issues of why ESD is sort of come to a difficult, like a standstill, like a standstill, but we need to think about how we can improve that. Yeah. Okay, what about when you want your students to be sustainable learners? What must you do? Let's say you want your students, now next time when you go out to teach, what must you do? To make sure that they are sustainable learners. We don't want, yes, we are teaching them to respect the world, the world, the globe, the planet we live in. We need them to do things that is sustainable. Yeah, very good. Yes. But at the same time, how do you want them to be a sustainable learner? Be a sustainable learner. So one of them, these are probably more from the psychological education point of view, rather than being very practical. One of what psychologists are saying is, if you want your student to be a sustainable learner, that they will always continue to think about issues of the future, one of them is don't overload them with problems that the world is facing. Don't every day come into the classroom. Oh, today this is the issue that happened. Oh, today this happened. Don't overload them with this emotional bad news. Don't let them feel that I can't do anything about that, to the point that I cannot do anything about that. So they feel that if I cannot do anything about that, I'd rather not do anything. So you are not helping them to be sustainable learners. Okay? Don't overload them with doom and gloom. Don't always overload and doom and gloom. Tell them every day, tell them a little bit about success stories. Coming to say, okay, we have this today, we have an environmental success story I want to share with you. So you discuss with them what the government is doing, what the movement have succeeded in helping more pollution, conserving resources, promoting ecological health. You give them some good news. And then whenever after you talk to them about the good news, you try to put them into the lesson for that day. Help them visualize a future that is where they can also have a say, that they also have a positive reaction that, yes, I can be part of that, and not always the fearful reaction. Because if you keep telling them bad news and they know they cannot do anything, it becomes a negative aspect to them. Okay, focus on the quality of life issues. If you keep giving them doom and gloom and keep depressing them, you are actually giving them a threat. You are actually telling them, you see, you are being a moral teacher. You see, you don't do this, you get forest fire. You see, if you don't do this, you get this pollution. You see, you do this, you get that. Okay, so don't keep telling them, moralizing, always very prescriptive, your approach is very restrictive. Give them a little bit, let them discuss what would make them happy. okay, this has happened. What would make them happy? Ask them, this issue has happened in our school. What would make you happy to? How would you want to improve this quality? So give them a chance to be involved instead of you telling them what to do, what to do, what to do. Behavioral, we want to change the mindset. Okay, we want them to have some engagement and support. We want to engage them back to the focus on life issue, give them a chance to have group discussion, projects where they have opportunity to dialogue and support one another. Okay, so that they know that, oh, this has happened, what can we do? They can talk about it. And like I mentioned to you just now, that teaching method, I can't remember the name already, where you ask them to look at nature to solve the problem. Let them have their fun, allow them the movements, give them the moments of problem solving, give them the moments to debate, give them moments to analyze. Don't always tell them what to do. Okay, let them reflect what they have done, laugh about it, or make it a safe environment. Even though it looks so silly, maybe they say, I'm going to use the crab to solve a problem. Don't laugh at it. Ask the person, why do you use the crab to solve the problem? They might tell you, because they saw what the crab can do, and they're telling you that you use how the crab dig up soil into real life situation. Who knows, right? So give them that chance. I find that this using nature and asking them to solve problem is very unique. Try it. I really want to, next time when I see myself, I'm going to ask them to do that with their students, right? So next is adopt interdisciplinarity, multidisciplinarity. Do adopt the integration, do adopt organizing speakers to your classrooms to talk about sustainability, talk about environment, right? Do invite the community to the school. Let's say you have a program like your sustainable club did something you feel you want to share. Invite the community around the schools to come in, the parents to just join in the fun. It takes a lot of work. So a lot of schools now sometimes don't want to do because it is such a lot of work. So sometimes the word is, it takes courage, it takes courage, keberanian, I think, to step out of your own comfort zone and for you to explore topics or different ways of doing things that will enrich the learning experience for your students. And at the same time, we want to stimulate them to think new ways of learning. So it takes a lot of courage, because you are taught this is the way to teach this way. Then now when you go out to the school, you want to change things, can or not, try it. Okay, try it. Now, next one is, of course, you. Of course, I would like to hear about this, how you have done sustainability in your own environment. Maybe later we have 2 or 3 to tell us in your own environment, what have you done for sustainability? Okay, next one is you, the me sustainability. So you are a teacher. Okay, as a teacher, you can get tired just like anyone else. So how do you sustain yourself as a teacher? Now you are young, you are new, you are excited. But after 5 years of teaching, how do you sustain yourself as a teacher? I find this one quite important for any teacher, which I tell all my pre-service teachers. Avoid being complacent. This one I sort of like want to read it out in Bahasa Melayu, so I sort of wrote it out so I don't forget how to say it in the end. Commitment, okay? Komitmen terhadap sebab dan nilai mengapa kamu menjadi cikgu. That's how you sustain yourself. You reflect back your commitment. Mengapa saya menjadi seorang cikgu? Apakah nilai saya sebab saya menjadi cikgu? Dan menggunakan sebab ini dan nilai ini untuk memandu kamu untuk mereflect secara kritis kerja anda, and tengok, reflect and and evaluate sejauh mana ya, menilai sejauh mana pengajaran kamu ya, adakah dia sejajar dengan nilai atau sebab kamu menjadi cikgu. What I'm trying to say is, you need to critically reflect, on your work so that you can assess to what extent your reason to be a teacher is aligned with your values now. Every time you must do it. It cannot be, I want to be a teacher, I go in, but you need to tell yourself, what is my value, why I want to be a teacher? Because this commitment akan membolehkan kita sebagai seorang cikgu mengenal pasti ya, dan mengambil tindakan yang boleh membantu ya kita untuk memastikan ya apakah yang kita hargai bila kita mengajar, and kita tak mau melakukan sesuatu yang berjauhan ya daripada nilai yang kita ambil dari awal apabila kita menjadi seorang cikgu. We want that we must identify that value, and we take action that will help us to ensure why we were a teacher in the first place. And we don't want to move away too far from that value. If you say that I have lost that value, then I think you need to tell yourself why you want to be a teacher. Okay, you need to be anchored, to anchored on self-reflection, learning, growth. To me, don't be complacent means if the school says, I'm going to send you for a training to do ABC, do it, go for it. My personal experience of teachers who have taught for 10, 20 years, I'm very sad to say that once they reach 10 or 20 years of teaching, they don't want to learn new things anymore. Okay, they don't want to learn new things anymore. And if you become complacent, then you are not going to sustain yourself as a teacher. Have a voice in decision-making processes at your schools. Don't be quiet. If you think you are able to do something better, voice it out to your supervisor, voice it out to the head teacher. Make a difference. Okay, if you do not if you're not excited about being a teacher, very hard for you to sustain yourself as a teacher. Second one is look for friendship in school to re-energize you. Okay, it is important to consider friendship that is warm and supportive, who is someone who can make you, inspire you, to take risks, for you to grow professionally. Don't look for teachers who say, oh, no need to do that already. The students are all very low ability. No need to do so hard. That is so sad. Okay, so you need to find your friends in school that can energize you, that can motivate you, can inspire you. Don't go to the teachers who are already 30 years and tired and don't want to learn new things and will tell you, no need to work so hard, no need to prepare anything. You tell her, I want to do a sustainability club. What for? She will say, what for you want to come up with a sustainability club? Don't talk to teachers like that. Or you tell her, I want to come up with I want to plan a bicycle path for the student. The teacher will say, what for you come up with such a silly idea? Don't talk to teachers like that. You demotivate you, right? Meet friendship that can encourage you, right? And of course, thirdly, to be a teacher, to be a sustainable, to be sustainable, you must also have your own activities that you enjoy, your hobbies, to make you feel restored. You cannot be working 24/7. Yes, you think about your students, you think about school, but at the same time, you also need to have your activities outside of school. Okay, it is not always about work. You need work balance. So that is how, how you can be a me sustainability, right? We get tired sometimes, right? So this is the me sustainability that you need to do often to feel energized again. All right. this is more, I thought I want to share this because I do not know who's going to be with us today, right? So this is more of for the school leaders, for the school leaders, you're reorienting your school through the leadership. So innovative leaders are needed for successful ESD, right? They must be the one who have the courage to overcome barriers. They are the one who must help you as a teacher to transform your ideas into practical solution. Not like I go to this teacher and the teacher say, what for? Don't waste your time. You need to have leaders to encourage these teachers. You need a leader to be able to support and encourage you when you want to do community work also and want to share yourself. This leader must provide you the platform to share your successes. This leader must provide a platform for you to celebrate and share your effective practices, right? You must shout about your effective practices. If you created a project-based or a place-based sustainable project, why should you keep it to yourself? Tell everyone about it, right? You need a leader who can provide opportunities for you to collaborate and share ideas, right? You need a strong leader to support you when you are doing a planned risk in innovative teaching and learning, meaning that it's something different. You're going to teach in something different way that is not taught in the universities, but you know that it can work. Can this leader support you or not? Can this leader support you and say, go ahead, try it out? Can this leader encourage you to think creatively for your student? Can this leader guide you towards change and new experiences? Can this leader lead the way towards new thinking and doing in your school and its environment? So we need, and can this teacher guide the school towards preparing for a globalized world? So this is more for leaders. Why I say it's for leaders? Who knows? One of you later will be head teachers. One of you will be coordinator. So can you do this or not as a leader to support global education and to support sustainability? Okay. So these are the few things that I found from this book, about ESD and what your country has done. This is from the Sub-Education Policy Review Report on ESD for your country. So in climate change education, it seems that you have got this AGS program. I'm sure the lecturers should know about this, right? You got this AGS program, which is a well-known ESD-related program conducted in Indonesia, whereby the program facilitates the integration of ESD in the school curriculum. You already have that. And also, you also have this ASP-NET program, which comprises a network of 200 schools, and these 200 schools do what? They have various steps to achieve the success of ESD implementation. The first step of the program involves assessment of teacher knowledge and whether they understand ESD. The second step is they have student competition which aims to encourage students to write critical essays on sustainable development. You all have this already. So you're progressing very well in the roadmap for ESD. So this is for what you are doing. This is what you are doing for climate change. Okay, so that's excellent, I thought. Excellent. And then we have human rights education. Also, you have very good ones already. Civic education is compulsory for the students to take from grade 1 to 12 in all Indonesian educational curriculum. It covers the topic concerning the 5 basic principles, the Pancasila. See, you all have this. This is all under the ESD roadmap, what your country is doing to be part of the ESD roadmap. Indonesian government launched a 9-year compulsory basic education for everyone aged 17 to 15 years, which is fantastic. That means no more children, uneducated children in Indonesia. So this is the human rights part, because the ESD for one of the project is human rights. Higher education, human rights education are used as a tool to increase students' knowledge and awareness on your own rights and freedom and strengthen their commitment to this principle. So that means this is under the Institute of Human Rights and Peace Study. That means it is an Indonesian institute. So you're all doing that. You're all doing that already. So that's excellent. And then gender equality also, you have touched on gender equality. Gender mainstreaming was regulated in 1945, and then you have this law in 2003, which national education system support that everyone, despite boy or girl, must have formal. This is to formal or non-formal school. That means everyone, no discrimination of male or female. And then this one is your Ministry of Education and Culture produced a handbook in 2012 on gender issues. Very brave, gender issues. And then a more recent one was launched in 2016, the Movement on Education for Marginalized Women's Empowerment. That's fantastic. So you are actually quite a leader in all this already. Okay, just like what I mentioned to you yesterday. Malaysia and Indonesia is not known as developed nation yet. We are developing new economy, so we can actually take lead in all this. The new order, we can take lead. Okay, gender equality also you have already have your own policy. Global citizenship education. There you are. We were talking about global education and global citizen. There you are. Vision 2025. Your government has come up with a strategic 5-year plan, the Vision 2025. What do you want to see? Spiritual intelligence, emotional social intelligence, intellectual, kinesthetic intelligence. You all come up with this, but I guess the question is, how well have you as a teacher, and how will you implement this also into your own classroom, isn't it? So you have done that. Then the next one, the Indonesian school curriculum contains the core competencies related to global citizenship education. I guess civic education does all this. 3 core competency in the 2013 curriculum: social attitudes, honest behavior, responsibility, tolerance, and mutual understanding. It means this curriculum is trying to link with the roadmap for UNESCO 2015 one, so you have it already. 2013 curriculum contains citizenship education subject, Pancasila and citizenship education. 4 domains: Pancasila, the Constitution, Unitary Republic, unity in diversity. You see, you're talking all about it already, diversity. So technically, your country is really ahead and well planned already. And you are really following the roadmap. Then the last one is, you even have this already, the one that we talked about yesterday. Appreciation of culture diversity and culture's contribution. See, the appreciation of cultural diversity is reflected in national policy framework, the Pancasila, the unity of Indonesia. Also, another relevant philosophical concept, your motto, unity in diversity, underlies the country's commitments to uphold cultural diversity. This too has become the reference to laws in your national education system. So basically, when the ESD came about, all the nations, UNESCO, because Malaysia and Indonesia are part of UNESCO, so we all talked about it. And honestly, I have not really, I must go and see Malaysia's contribution in all this. I haven't not really seen it, but your country has seen and are doing all this to link up or to promote sustainability and globalization through your own policy. I think that's wonderful. Okay, so you have all those already. Okay, so I guess we would end here. And I think yesterday, Ms. Vidya, you asked me, what would I want to tell the students before they go back? I like this one.
Yeah.
I like this one from Jamie Cloud in TED Talk. Teach for the future you want, isn't it? Teach for the future, or teach and learn for the future you want. I think it's great. It's a lovely catchphrase. I think we should print this out and put into our classrooms. Teach and learn for the future you want. You know? So with that, Ms. Vidya, I finish my short session on sustainability, and I hope that the students here today take away the two important things, you know, that sustainability is not to teach cognitively anymore. It is a place-based and a project-based. It is cemented in reality. And the other one is that you as a teacher must also have the me sustainability, you know, so that you can sustain yourself for your students. I think that's what I would like you all to take away. I mean, there are a lot of articles and readings about sustainability, but the practical part of sustainability is the hardest one. So I shall stop sharing this one now, Ms. Vidya.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Go, to your
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
but we would have a few minutes from your students to talk about, critically, I would love to hear them critically tell us about what they themselves understand and their own experiences. It doesn't have to always be good things, you know, Ms. Ria.
Yeah.
Would there be anyone? Now I can see you more clearer. Yeah. Would anyone be willing to come out and share?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe audience have one question to Ms. Go, or your argumentation about this presentation about sustainability, and we think this issue ASD, certainly include issue about environment, conservation, challenge, human rights education, gender equality, and we have to plan of the sustainable development, I think, because we can take something. No, we must think about how to we understand in the teaching and the learning, and like Ms. Go said, how we can tell the student teaching about sustainability. And yeah, I agree. I think I agree, Ms. Go. We must more information about sustainability. And the example in 11 Maret University support ESD implementation about emission-free day, tweet month, and the application about project learning to support increase motivation for students, improve problem-solving ability, to research management skill and the students. And this one of the part of to support ESC in my university. But
that's good.
We have 2 minutes, Ms. Go, to we can have time to students to have argumentation in this today. I think silahkan dari teman-teman.
Siapa? Yes.
Mungkin ada satu yang mau berpendapat. We can open your opinion. You can raise your hands, and maybe you perkenalkan diri dulu kepada Miss Go. Silahkan. Oke, satu orang.
We have. Oh, there's another way. Good. Okay, come.
Sorry, Miss Go. We have 2. No.
Yes. Then the first one first. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mbak Dewi and Manang. Okay, thank you. Silahkan, Mbak. Siapa dulu? bisa maju ke depan karena
Yeah.
dari sini biar suaranya lebih keras.
Can see you clearer and also the sound, isn't it?
Ya.
Hello, good morning.
Ya. Boleh pakai bahasa Indonesia karena Misbah bisa bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Melayu. No problem.
Mana muka dia dah? Okay, there you go.
Boleh.
Bisa bahasa Indonesia?
Bisa bahasa Indonesia.
Terima kasih atas kesempatan.
I tak boleh dengar.
Kurang dengar, bisa agak maju.
Kelihatan di situ.
Ya, harus kelihatan biar bisa. Tuh.
Saya izin memakai bahasa Indonesia ya.
Boleh.
Sorry. Mungkin ini lebih ke pertanyaan dan saya ingin meminta solusi. Di sini di era digital ini semua bisa dicari dengan mudah di internet, termasuk soal-soal di sekolah. Saya ingin melihat dari dua sisi. Di balik kelebihannya, karena internet ini meningkatkan literasi siswa, menurut saya, digitalisasi ini juga mengikis daya kritis siswa untuk bisa menyelesaikan masalah sendiri tanpa bantuan instan dari internet. Apa pendapat Anda tentang ini? Dan bagaimana solusi untuk seorang guru agar bisa memastikan bahwa siswanya ini sudah paham dengan materi yang diberikan?
Okay, bagus. Don't run away. Jangan lari dulu. Soalan tu, nama dia apa lagi? Nama apa tadi?
Namanya siapa?
Dewi Nafita.
Dewi. Soalan Dewi, saya inginkan Dewi jawab. Because, you dengar dulu. Because number one, Dewi muda lagi kan? Dan saya rasa Dewi selalu gunakan internet juga kan? Mesti kan? Mesti, right? Lepas tu bila Dewi ada assignment daripada Miss Vidya, okay. Adakah Dewi gunakan internet untuk cari jawapan? Beritahu dulu secara tulus.
Kalau saya memang semuanya itu seakan-akan memang dasarnya itu dari internet gitu.
Okay. So, mengapa Dewi gunakan selalu?
Karena memang ada beberapa istilah atau katakanlah materi yang sebelumnya belum saya dapat.
Bagus. So, adakah dia salah kalau kita benarkan murid kita mencari internet untuk jawapan? Bila dia mencari salah, Dewi? Bila sekarang Dewi kata Dewi pun pernah gunakan internet untuk cari jawapan ke apa-apa kan? So, bilakah dia menjadi salah kalau Dewi kata salah untuk murid menggunakan internet untuk cari jawapan? Kalau sendiri, apakah Dewi pendapat Dewi? Bila salah?
Bila salah. Ini dari sisi negatifnya gitu ya?
Enggak, kalau kamu mengatakan bahwa siswa itu mencari jawaban dari internet itu sesuatu hal yang salah, kalau pendapat kamu sendiri gimana? Karena kamu carinya dari internet, jawaban dari soal.
Ya, kalau dari sisi siswa, pasti itu sangat membantu saya ya, karena saya langsung dapatlah jawaban dari soal itu. Tapi saya juga menyadari kalau saya jadi ketergantungan sekali dengan internet, begitu.
So sekarang, sebagai seorang cikgu, kita tak boleh kata ya salah lah kalau pelajar murid kita gunakan internet, right? Yang pentingnya, it's okay. Bawa jawapan mereka dari internet tu, paparkan kepada semua untuk tengok, ini jawapannya, okay? Tapi bila kita nak memeriksa, kita nak menanya mereka, kita tanya juga, informasi ini, mengapa kamu tulis jawapan sedemikian? Right? So let them think. But if they just copy blindly, kalau mereka tiru, sebulat-bulat, sebiji-biji, mereka tak boleh jawab. Am I right not? Kalau sekarang saya, Dewi gunakan internet untuk cari jawapan. So jawapan A, B, C, D. Okay. Saya tanya Dewi, mengapa Dewi cari jawapan sedemikian? So saya rasa Dewi boleh jawab, saya cari jawapan itu kerana. Right? So if you do that, then you avoid telling the student, I accept everything you take from internet as true. Faham tak Dewi apa saya kata? It is not right, there's no right, dia tak ada salah betul tentang perkara ini. Okay, so because I ask you yourself, you think it's wrong or not? You know it's Dewi sendiri buat what? Si Dewi sendiri pergi internet untuk cari jawapan untuk assignment Miss Widya juga. Okay, so it's not wrong. It's just how we as teacher tell them, question them, you know, what they take from internet. Kita tanya mereka, jawapan dari internet tu, mengapa kamu ambil jawapan begini? So bagi mereka masa untuk berfikir untuk menjawab kita. Very good question, Devi. But we must ask ourselves, we also do. Kita pun buat juga. Okay, thank you very much. Good question. But saya selalu suka jawab soalan dengan soalan balik. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Terima kasih atas jawabannya.
Yes. Saya tak bagi jawapan, Devi yang bagi jawapan.
Okay.
Thank you, Mbak Dewi.
Thank you.
So we still have one more.
Miss Mia, don't you agree, isn't it? It's not wrong kan kalau pelajar itu gunakan internet untuk cari jawapan, tapi kita sebagai cikgu tu bila mereka bagi jawapan, kita nak tanya mereka, mengapa kamu ambil, you know, itu sebagai jawapan, isn't it?
Right.
Then they got time to think, you know, and then kita tak selalu, kita encourage mereka selalu untuk cari. You know, they will know that if I take from the internet, the teacher is going to question me why I choose these answers. Correct?
Correct. Okay, Ms.
Okay,
Go.
yes, another one.
One question. Okay.
There. Bagi pandangan, I want to hear your opinion actually about sustainability and globalization.
Assalamualaikum semua.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor, for your PPT. It was very useful for us. Excuse me, just I have one comment about my classmate for question. For me, I see we can, for assignment or to test, use the internet, internet, but not copy paste. Okay, just we can make a paraphrase. After we can choose some of the things is important for us. We can not copy paste, it's the receipt, so that we can paraphrase and make in our word and our opinion, and then as you know, we can carry to the docent and have percakapan or conversation, group discussion with my friends and my docent.
Correct. Very good. That's right. I would agree with you. I would also, I agree with you with that one. I also would then also say that whatever the answer you have, I must question them about the answer that they took from the internet. So they also give them a chance to think deeper also. And they know that we are not going to just blindly accept whatever they give us. Isn't it? Yes. Thank you very much.
I'm originally Syrian from Syria, but now I'm international student as a master's degree here in ONS. So that I'm so interested how we can improve civic education in developed country. After conflicts, after civil war, you know, the education, we have a lot of challenge and obstacles. So that is, this lecture is very important for me and open my critical thinking to understand my side so much. Yeah, thanks.
Wow. Yes, I hope that, yes, I hope that you would be able to get some, but you're from Syria. You're from Syria.
Yeah, I'm originally.
And wow. So maybe just a question, will you be going back or not?
Yeah, I hope after I finish my thesis and master degree here, I have some of things of proposal to apply between Indonesia, Malaysia or Asia content. If I develop my education in, you know, Middle East, Middle East country, especially in Syria or other conflicts developed country.
Wow, okay, because in my country, Malaysia, we also have many.
Many Syrian.
Yes. In fact, I got some colleagues who are also from Syria. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I wish you every success.
Terima kasih.
That's good. Yeah, any more. That's wonderful. That kind of sharing is wonderful. What about the others? I know you're only tahun kedua, but mesti ada pandangan juga.
Okay, thank you.
Just now there was someone who put up the hand just now kan? Ada kan tadi?
Masih ada lagi?
Tu. Nak dengar pandangan dia.
Is a time? We can still the time? No problem.
Boleh. Yes,
boleh.
because I'm just going to meet my students in a while, but I want to hear your opinion. I like to hear this. I like this part when I can hear your voices.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Go, for your time. Sini, silakan.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Dikatni Maharani. I'm from Civic Education, grade 4. And I'm sorry before if my question out of the topic, but I think it's still about the education development. The first one, the educational development is an important thing, but sometimes we found some problems like difference level, education inequity, and etc. And the first one, a question is, what do you think about this problem? And then the second one, and maybe you have a recommendation to solve this problem. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Via, what problem was what? Integrity, is it?
Sorry, Ms. Go.
Apa soal, apa masalah dia tadi? Integrity, masalah apa tu?
About difference, maksudnya tentang perbedaan kelas dan tentang ketidakmerataan pendidikan seperti itu.
Different levels of abilities, is it?
Yes.
Capability, yes.
Oh, that one, masalah itu sama juga dengan bilik darjah dekat Malaysia. You know, Malaysia sekarang kita tak buat streaming lagi. Maksudnya dulu kita buat, okay, kalau ability kamu bagus, kamu pergi A, B, C, kita tak ada dah. So kita campur aduk, diversity lah kan. Ada yang jauh lebih dalam achievement mereka, ada yang kurang kan semua. So betul itu adalah satu masalah yang sangat besar. So kalau secara tulus saya beritahu ya, terpulang kepada sekolah. If you have a very diverse ability students, kalau bilik darjah ada murid 50, there's nothing much you can do. I have to be very honest with you. There's nothing much you can do. So, balik kepada sekolah. Kalau kita nak buat perbezaan pembelajaran dalam satu bilik darjah, dia mesti kurang daripada 30 murid. Then baru kita sebagai cikgu boleh mengamal pembelajaran kooperatif. You know cooperative learning? If you, let's be honest, if you have 50 in your classroom, you cannot do anything except lecture saja, right or not? And you got no, kita tak ada energy. I don't think I have the energy to do cooperative learning with 50 students in my classroom. So let's be honest. So the solution is the school has to reduce the number of students in the classroom so that you as a teacher will have better attention to each and every one. Okay, so you have to go and ask the school. Reduce the classroom. Miss Vidya, sekarang ni bilik darjah dekat Indonesia berapa ramai dalam satu bilik darjah? Kalau primary school?
Ada beberapa, mungkin satu ya, Miss.
How many students inside your one classroom usually?
I think 20 or 30 in one bilik.
That's very good. If it's 20 or 30, then boleh kita gunakan pembelajaran kooperatif, pembelajaran berkumpulan, so that you can concentrate on the weaker ones. The better ones, you give them other much more challenging projects to do. So bagus yang bilik darjah hanya 30. Di Malaysia, di bandar sampai 50 ada. Thank you very much for your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Dika. And
yes, very good. Brave and good. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ms. Go. And finally, the students, Ms. Go. Now we have the end of our discussion, but time is off. And I would like to say thank you for you, Mr. Go, and to our presentation, for the great presentation, and the audience to your participation. And thank you the attention, and have a great Okay, Miss Go and all participants, good morning, selamat pagi, dan saya akhiri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Miss Vidya. And thank you to everyone here, all of you. Thank you very much for being with me for 2 days, Thank you very much. And Miss Vidya, if they have any questions for me, give them my email, my tailor's email. If anybody wants to write to me, please get my email from Miss Vidya, write to me. I'm very happy to respond to your email because I enjoy very much hearing from you all. Thank you for allowing me to be with you together. I hope to maybe see you all, or to hear that one or all of you became a great educator. Then I'll be so proud to know that I was here with you one day.
Thank
So
you.
Miss Vidya, thank you, and please convey my sincere thank you to your dekan and to Prof. Trianto.
Oke, ya Miss Go, sampai jumpa lagi. Terima kasih.
Yes.
Okay, see you again, Miss Go. Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
All the best. Tak dengar suara mereka. Oh, bye.
Terima kasih, Miss Go. Baik, alhamdulillah teman-teman semuanya ya. Pada sesi ini adalah sesi diskusi yang sangat menyenangkan dan kita banyak mendapatkan pengalaman baik ya dari Miss Go sebagai salah satu lecturer di Taylor University Malaysia. Semoga apa yang kita diskusikan pagi ini menjadi ilmu yang berkah bagi kita semuanya dan teman-teman mendapatkan cipratan aura semangat ya untuk terus belajar, untuk menjadi pendidik yang baik, untuk menciptakan young people menjadi lebih baik lagi ke depannya. Mungkin itu dari saya selaku moderator pagi hari ini. Terima kasih untuk partisipasinya. Terima kasih. Saya akhiri. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih.